Happy Thursday. Welcome to Couch Talks, our Q&A episode to the Feeling Things podcast. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kat.
And we're going to start off with a pretty powerful email. And I'm going to paraphrase it because it was incredibly long. And we'll just get right into it.
Okay.
And the topic is not light.
Trigger warning.
She even gave us a trigger warning. I'll read that as part of the email. It starts off, hey, my name is V. I'm 25 years old from Virginia. V from Virginia. I love.
You love an alliteration.
Trigger warning. This email includes references to abuse, addiction, and suicide threats. I want to preface this by saying that you're welcome to read, share, or paraphrase any part of this email on the podcast at your discretion. So after that line, we paraphrased and condensed everything that V had to share. So the details that you need to know to understand her question for us. She was in a severely abusive relationship, emotional, physical, and psychological. He was an alcoholic and an addict who cheated, lied, made suicide threats. He held weapons to his head, forced her to watch, and at one point, he actually fired a gun into a voicemail to make her think that he had taken his life. Every time she tried to leave, he pulled her back in through manipulation, threats, or empty promises. She became pregnant and he abandoned her during the entire pregnancy. After she gave birth, he denied being the father, called her horrible names, and threatened to take their daughter away while simultaneously offering to disappear forever for $1,000. He's never met his daughter. She has since seen on Facebook that he appears to be happy, committed, or in a happy, committed relationship with someone else. She herself has been in therapy for a year and is starting EMDR with a new therapist. Her actual questions that she included in the email: how do you accept that there may never be justice, accountability, or an apology? How do you move forward when the person who caused all the harm appears to have gotten a fresh start while you are still carrying the consequences? And how do you hold on to hope for your own future when his apparent happiness feels like proof that he was rewarded and you were discarded? So I told you we were starting off heavy. And out of the gate, this isn't even into the deep stuff. This is just such a reminder to all of us. Mm-hmm. What you see on Facebook and Instagram isn't real life. So I think that's one thing you can do for yourself is maybe not even look at his stuff. But if you do, look at it with a filter of, you even use that he appears to be happy in another relationship with someone else. You know the torment you went through with him. I don't know a person, if that's how they operate in life, their relationship is probably not happy unless he's done some real work and he's gotten healing and he's a completely different person. Because they may appear happy, but I just doubt that's the case.
Yeah, and it's clear he is really good at manipulating, and he's a liar. And he, from this email, I don't know this person, but if all of these things are true, then he's not going to snap his fingers and start dating somebody else and be a completely different person to that person. However, he might want you to think that.
And everybody else.
And everybody else.
Yeah.
And so as hard as that is, I feel like that's kind of some of that advice that people let go in one ear and out the other because you hear it so often, but you hear it so often because it is so true. We talk about this all the time in general, not even about exes and stuff, but just in general, being careful of the things that you see on Instagram, like that people are selling or whatever it is, that they might say that this is working for them, but we don't really know that. So this is the same idea, just at a very higher risk level that, anybody can put anything. Also, you can make a lot of fake stuff now, like on AI and ChatGPT, like you can.
Wait, do you think his girlfriend's AI?
It could be. I mean, I haven't used like the photo stuff that often, but even this last week I typed in there and was like, can you put curtains on my window? And it looks like a real photo, and it looks like So,
Oh, on Tuesday's episode, I was telling you about my friend's Hinge profile, and we were going through the 50 men that had sent her a rose or whatever. And one of them, I thought, oh my gosh, wait, this guy is cute. And oh, he's a surgeon. I mean, there was all this stuff. And then as we scrolled, she was like, no, this is AI. And I was like, wait, there's AI people on Hinge. And he gave his Instagram that you could look up too. And we looked up the Instagram, and so much about it seemed so fake. And remember, CryoCat, I think on Raya, that dating app you have to get invited to, I think she got scammed by AI photos or some fake photos, and she thought he was some Italian model, and she was like, look at this guy that's into me. And
I didn't know that.
Well, and she's beautiful, so I thought, okay, yeah, this Italian model might be into her. Like, I don't know, but turns out it was total scam situation, and it was through a dating app. And so that's a really good point. Like, what it's kind of everywhere, and we need to be aware of it. In some places, like on Instagram now, it needs to be labeled. Like if you upload something AI, like it'll give a tag that says that. But I don't know if Facebook.
Sometimes I feel like you can get away with it. Like I just, there's probably loopholes. And I'm not saying this guy is like made up an AI girlfriend, but I'm just saying like now is the time where we have to question things before we believe them, which I hate that because it feels very cynical, but we should not just, I'm the kind of person who wants to believe the good in everything, but I've learned time and time again, you can't do that because I end up hurting my own feelings by doing that. So I would encourage her to take everything she sees with a very large grain of salt. And also, just let's say he is in a new relationship and he's happy. Does that now make you want to be back with him? Because your relationship just doesn't sound like anything that you ever wanted. And he has hurt you. He doesn't deserve to be in your life. He probably doesn't deserve to be in his daughter's life at this point. Like, to respect yourself, we have to create boundaries and not allow people, even if they've changed, like, because we have been hurt in some way, sometimes it's okay to say, like, good for you. I'm so glad that you are, and you don't have to be glad, but like, good for you that you've created this new life for yourself. I deserve somebody who would have never done that to me.
I wonder if it would be helpful for her to mute his account so that she doesn't have to even see it.
I also, one of my first thoughts was like, somebody could have sent her these photos. I don't know. Maybe she's not Facebook friends with him. But if she is, I would highly recommend cut off any kind of access you have to his life and he has to your life. Because he is to me, this is, if all of this is true, again, we can't give like actual advice because we don't know this person. This is a podcast. But to me, this person is very unsafe.
Very.
So they don't need access to any part of your life. And you're asking, like, how do I, like, accept and move on? Well, part of that is cutting off this part of your life. And we've talked recently about how sometimes we're quick to cut off and sever relationships. This is one of those situations that it makes sense. Like, he didn't just hurt your feelings one time. He endangered you.
Yeah. And having to deal with the fact that there may never be justice, accountability, or an apology, that's where radical acceptance comes in.
Yeah.
You have to look at the type of person that you're dealing with. You have started or you've been doing therapy for a year, you're starting EMDR, you're getting the tools that you need that will help you radically accept that he's the type of person you may not get that from.
And what I like to think with that is, I get it because I also would want justice.
Yes. Kat is like the queen of justice.
How many times have I recently talked about my Yelp review, but I oftentimes am like, I'm going to write a review for this.
This is not right. And it's not okay. Fair.
Yes. But what I would hope for her is that what becomes more important about him getting what he deserves is that you get what you deserve. So what kind of life are you living? Like, you're doing the work to heal from this. You one day will have a relationship that brings you joy and feels safe and loving. And that is more important. Your life is more important than what happens to him.
And the type of life you get to provide for your daughter. Yeah. And so there's radical acceptance in there. There's also, you doing what you need to do for your life, which is you're already doing it, minus the you may need to, however you're getting access to his Facebook information.
Yeah.
And if friends are sending that to you, you maybe ask friends like, hey, I'd rather not know unless it's information that I need because of my daughter. I probably don't need to know what's going on with his life and his relationship.
Yeah.
That question was, how do I move forward when the person who caused harm appears to have gotten a fresh start? Well, you're getting a new start too, because you've gotten him out of your life. Mm-hmm. So I would shift perspective on, thank goodness you're out from under that, because you could still be stuck there. Mm-hmm. So this is a fresh start for you, and you've already started with the tools that you have, and then you get to move and form your path. And what is now possible from this? How do you get to come alongside and support other people that have gone through something similar? It may not be right away, but then that's one of the ways we get to use our pain to help others.
Did you see that interview? I wish I knew who it was with. I want to say with Stephen Colbert and somebody else, but I could be wrong. But it was asking like one of them, how do you deal with like the hardest parts of your life and these things that you've been through? Is this ringing a bell to you?
Nope.
Okay. Well, his response was, this will make me cry. Oh my God, I've been doing so good. His response was,
Kat's 7.5 months pregnant, by the way, in case you happen to be tuning in for the very first time. Not all of our emails are this heavy.
Yeah.
But Kat does cry a lot.
I'm paraphrasing. He said it much more eloquently, but it just felt so good. And it's so true. He said, I have a lot of gratitude for the things that have hurt me in my life, not because I'm happy that they have happened, but because that is what connects us to other human beings. Being able to relate to somebody else and be able to hear somebody else's story and have compassion for them and be able to help them through something. Those are the most meaningful parts of relationships. Yes, it's fun to like go to parties and go on vacations and do all this stuff, but the most meaningful parts of life are when you are going through something and I can be there for you and I can understand you. So that's how I have gratitude for and can accept that these things have happened to me, is because I have to believe that they are there to bring me closer to other people and connect me to people. Mm-hmm. I did pretty good getting through that, actually.
You did.
So there's that. I wish I had that video, because then I would send that to this person. That was really helpful to hear. But I think all of that's true.
Yeah. And I think that if you're wondering how to hold on to hope, to me, I have to cling to hope at times when it doesn't. I even tattooed it on my arm. Whenever I was in the process of adoption, like my husband and I at the time, it took us 5 years to get our kids from Haiti. And espoir means hope in Haitian Creole. And I tattooed espoir on my wrist so that every day I would look at it and I was reminded to keep the faith and to have hope. And you may need to just have little reminders for yourself. It doesn't mean it has to be a tattoo. But my story wasn't working out the way I thought. Mm-hmm. But I had to surrender my dream of getting pregnant and having babies. That storyline shifted completely, and becoming a mom happened in a way that I never would have imagined for myself at all whatsoever. Not only did we end up not ever having a baby, then we were going to adopt a baby, and we didn't even adopt a baby. We adopted 2 older children. So everything looked different. Like I never got to change diapers or wake up in the middle of the night because they're crying and hold them. And like there's a lot of things that I was looking forward to when it came to becoming a mom that I had to, I had hope for that too. And then my period would come, and every time that would be this vicious cycle of crying and then starting that. But then my story shifted, and your story is shifting. Like this is a completely different chapter that you now get to write for yourself. And thank goodness he's not a part of it. Mm-hmm. So have a little way for you to remember that hope is there. You're doing the work, and these are going to be some beautiful chapters with you and your daughter. And I'm so sorry that you went through this with this guy who just seems very unwell.
Yeah. To put it lightly.
All right. Next email. This is from, it's supposed to be anonymous.
Yep.
Literally in bold. Keep this anonymous, please. So, but we can say I don't even know if we should say where they're from.
No.
Dang, they're from America.
Which we do need to clarify because we're international.
Yes, we do have listeners in Canada and what was over
Australia?
in Africa somewhere.
Yeah. Kenya?
Whoa. Nigeria?
Nigeria, I think.
Yeah,
Nigeria.
it was 1% Nigeria.
I feel like we had an Australian.
I'm sure we did.
It was somebody vacationing in Australia.
We need to pull up that map again that gives us the percentages of like who's listening where. So just know this person's in America. Hey, Amy and Kat. I'm processing some big feelings regarding my parents and reaching out to get some advice on this situation. I'm 35 years old, happily married, 2 children. My parents are in their mid-60s, and I believe they both have a gambling addiction. First, I love my parents dearly. They own a business, and they are very blessed financially. And while I do not know the details of their gambling wins and losses, I definitely only hear about the wins and perks of being their elite status at the casino, LOL. But I do have serious concerns of how gambling affects their mental and physical health, along with fears of what this hobby/addiction could be doing to them financially. My parents are the most excited and happiest when they are at the casino or talking about their recent trip to the casino. Outside of those times, they are fairly negative people. Gambling brings them the most joy in life. I have my 2 children, they're only grandchildren, and they enjoy spending time with them, but they rarely come to visit or ask about their grandchildren unless I reach out. For context, I live 2 hours from them, and the casino is an hour 45 from them, the other direction. It makes me incredibly sad that my parents will randomly drive to the casino on a weeknight or spend every other weekend there when I've mentioned that their grandchildren would like to see them and would appreciate help occasionally during the week if their schedule would allow. Am I being too critical of the thing that brings them the most joy? How can I address this with them? How do you truly know that a gambling hobby that it's just a hobby or it could actually be an addiction? Thank you for any and all advice. Have the day you need to have. Your friend, Anonymous from America.
Which I had that thought because you clarified it. I wonder if there have to be casinos in other countries, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. I just had that thought. You know how some states it's illegal and some states it's legal?
Mm-hmm.
That like I didn't know if other countries, I'm sure some countries you're not allowed to do it at all.
Yeah.
So clearly that's not the country that this person would be emailing from. Okay. I have some thoughts. Do you have some thoughts or can I just jump in?
Jump in, therapist.
So there's some main questions you want us to address, and one of them was, am I being too critical of the thing that brings them the most joy? I love the introspection of, am I being too hard on them? I don't hear you being critical. I hear a lot of sadness and fear, which to me isn't being a critic. It's just having emotions towards what you're seeing. So we can't diagnose somebody, well, I was going to say we can't diagnose somebody having an addiction without, having them kind of be part of the process. However, that's not true because we can see behaviors, but you're not seeing all of your parents' behaviors.
Exactly.
So we can't.
And we're certainly not.
Yeah,
so
we're
we
definitely not. So I think you're not going to be able to see if this is truly an addiction for them because you're not privy to all of the information. I think gambling addictions can be more insidious because you can hide to an extent some of the repercussions versus if you're an alcoholic or you're a drug addict or something like that. Oftentimes you're out in public and those things are being shown more often and the consequences can be seen to other people more often.
Bloodshot eyes, slurring words.
Right.
Like without access to their bank account and seeing and how much time they're actually spending there. But I guess true, it doesn't matter if they're in debt. It can still be an addiction.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They could be doing really great and they're still addicted to it.
Okay.
So what I would encourage you to do is not so much focus on, are my parents gambling addicts? Because you're not going to really be able to figure that out. And I don't know if that's the most important thing in this moment. It's that you have a lot of feelings about what their hobby feels like it's taking from you and your family. And so could you have a conversation with them about literally what you said in this email? I think it was really well written. It makes me incredibly sad that my parents will drive to this casino on a weeknight and spend every other weekend there when I've mentioned that their grandchildren and daughter would like to see them. What would happen if you said that to them? Like, I feel really sad because I see you doing all this and you talk about going to the casino, and I'm so happy that you have this hobby that brings you joy. And I feel hurt when you choose that over us. And so is there a way to spend more time together? Or is there something going on that I don't know about? And then what you do after that is out of your control. Like, what happens after that is out of your control. But I would highly, highly recommend sharing those feelings, not the accusatory ones, which I think, again, this was very well written. I don't hear her being like, my parents are terrible and they're this and they're ruining their life. This is genuine concern and genuine feelings that I think it's fair to share with them.
Yeah, I think this is where the intentional dialogue script could come into play.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard us mention that script in the past, but it's a fill in the blank. So you say when you. So I'll do it.
I would say when blank.
Okay.
Because you want to try to not use.
Well, that's in our script. You know that, right?
It is. Did you take that?
When
I wrote that. Okay. Well, let's edit that. I would, just because if you start it, especially with something like this. I know you don't want to say you language. Yeah. Because then people get on the defense. So I agree with that, but that's been on. Sometimes you can't avoid it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. When you fill it in what she, when you could fill in what she could kind of say, like I'll say you could give her a script.
Oh, so you want me to fill it in? Okay.
I'll say it. You fill it. I'm going to say the first part and then you fill it in.
Okay.
So it'll be like a little activity. Okay. When
I request that you spend more time with us and it doesn't happen because you're at the casino, from what I can see,
I feel
hurt and sad.
The story I tell myself is
the casino is more important to you and you get more joy from gambling than you do from our family.
And what I need is
more time with you. And it doesn't have to be that. If
it's not exactly
that
that was just like an example.
Yeah.
I love a good script though. If I were her, I'd be like writing that down. I'd be like, okay.
But I would pick the stuff that feels the
most
biggest,
authentic and
also
genuine.
My other feedback for using that script is keep it as short as possible, because as soon as you start, even though this is a very non-threatening script, as soon as somebody feels that confrontation, and this is a form of confrontation, they automatically will start getting defensive. And so you want to make it as short as possible so they can stay in it with you versus, when we start feeling somebody is like coming at us, we're already thinking about how we want to respond. So at the end of this too, if you're having trouble hearing each other, and this is for this listener, this is for anybody, I like when people then repeat it back. What I heard you say is this, and then they'll repeat what you said, and they'll say, did I get it right? And maybe they got it right, and you're like, yes, okay. And they'll say, is there anything else? And you can say no. Or, did I get it right? No, I didn't say that, because they might say, what I heard you say is you think that I'm an addict and you want me to go to rehab. It's like, well, I didn't say that at all. But that might be what they heard because they immediately felt a little defensive.
Mm-hmm.
So the repeating is really helpful.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one. What if the grandparents are like, we lived life, like we raised our children, we worked for however long, now we're retired and living our best life, like going to the casino, and it's great.
You're saying, what if that was their response?
Yeah.
Well, I think that would not be addressing the sadness of I want to see you more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think it's helpful to not focus on
their actions.
Well, their perceived
okay.
addiction versus how this affects our family. How is this affecting me versus you?
Because then they could assess like, oh, okay, wow, we've been waiting our whole lives to just gamble and have fun together. And wow, we didn't realize with that we've been neglecting our daughter and grandchildren. So then they can assess how to prioritize their time.
Yeah. And the hope is that they're like, oh my gosh, we didn't realize that was so important to you. That's the hope. But if they don't respond well, that's where you have to sit with some of those uncomfortable feelings, and we can't control people, which sucks.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a voicemail. This is, I don't think it's anonymous. No, because she's just encouraging us to skydive because she's got like 700 jumps under her belt, which I forgot when we talked about skydiving the other day, which is why she even called in with this message of encouragement for us. She's Maria in Plano, Texas, by the way. But I have a cousin who's an avid skydiver that has hundreds and hundreds of jumps. And I was thinking I could call him and we could go.
We aren't doing anything.
Did you see the dad that was paragliding with his child? And some people were calling it child abuse because the child's like 5. And it's like, can a kid decide if they want to go? But the kid was having a blast. Like the kid was loving it.
Is paragliding the thing you do at the beach?
I mean, that's parasailing.
Okay.
It's more, think of like, if you were to go skydiving, you're jumping out, and once you pull the parachute and you're floating, it's sort of paragliding is like you've got this big chute, but you may jump off of a
bridge.
You may jump off of somewhere and then you're gliding. Like I don't think you exit from a plane.
I don't know if
but it looks sort of similar. But I'm just saying it was a viral clip, so I was going to ask you about it because he'd obviously been taking her since before she was 5. But she was really sweet in the video, and she was even holding and like trying to steer a little bit. And she was like, okay, I'm tired or whatever. But people were very divided on if that was a cute father-daughter moment or if that is child abuse.
What do you think?
I thought it was fine because he's not going to put his daughter in harm's way. But I guess that activity in itself is dangerous.
Yeah.
But he's clearly a professional. So it's like, to me, I thought it was a precious moment. I would not scream child abuse, but Eddie and Lunchbox on the Bobby Bone Show, they both said child abuse.
I don't know that it is necessarily child abuse, but it does ring alarm for me. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, but I also wouldn't feel comfortable paragliding. Now, if the child was skydiving, to me, that feels different.
Those feel the same to me. Like if you see the video,
I guess I don't really understand what paragliding is.
Well, just imagine you're falling from the sky in a parachute, but you're.
Can we look up the law on this? Because I would, if it was child abuse, I would be like, that makes sense. But if it wasn't, I also would be like, okay, I can see why that also makes sense. But I don't like it.
Okay.
I do not like it.
Yeah.
I don't want my like adult child to do this, so I'm definitely not taking my 5-year-old
to do it. Yeah. But I guess if it's something that you love doing, like the voicemail we're about to play, she's got 700 jumps. Like if she has a baby and she feels safe doing it, I wonder what the law is.
You cannot take a baby skydiving. There's no way.
Yeah.
That feels like a liability.
When I did it, that was the scariest part for me was right when I jumped. Sorry, I have my computer volume up because we're going to play the voicemail. But when I jumped, the scariest part for me was up at the top where it's really cold and you're kind of grasping for air a little bit. But then once you pull the chute, it's like, and it's really, everything relaxes and you like see the city and everything around you. And it's like, it's really cool.
But you wouldn't do it again.
No, I don't want to do it again.
Exactly.
But Mariah here would like to convince us. So let's go ahead and play her voicemail.
Hi, this is Mariah in Plano, Texas. I am 40 years old, and I'm feeling a little bit bummed that Kat doesn't want to go skydiving And Amy, you wouldn't do it again. I am a skydiver. I have almost 700 jumps. My husband has almost 1,100 jumps. And we have jumped in Egypt, France. We're going to Iceland in about 2 weeks to skydive during the eclipse. We've jumped in Bali. We actually wingsuit, and it's so fun and just an amazing experience. And it's like there's a lot of safety protocols in place, and it's not it's dangerous to some extent, but as Amy said, like, you get in a car every day, and that's incredibly dangerous. Like, I think it's something that everybody should try at least once. You get a whole different perspective of life and the world, and it's just, I don't know, it kind of bums me out that you wouldn't give it at least a consideration. So, I don't know. I just thought I'd call and share my feelings on that. Anyways, love you guys, and have the day you need to have.
She sounds genuinely really sad.
This is like her passion, and the fact that you don't even want to try it.
I'm sorry.
Or that I don't want to do it again. She's so, that's good. She expressed her feelings on it, which we appreciate. That's what this podcast is all about. It is about feelings. And I think that is so cool that she's jumped all those different places. After she said how many jumps her husband has, I'm like, she's from Texas. I'm like, I wonder if she's married to my cousin. Probably not, but that would be funny. But I feel like he has a ton of jumps like that. This is a cousin on my dad's side, where my dad was the youngest of 7 kids. And then I was his youngest. My dad had me when he was really old. So all of my cousins on his side are way older than me.
What is really old to you? How old was your dad?
I mean, my dad, okay, well, I say really old when he had me, but he was late 40s.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like 38, and I'm like.
No, he had me on his 3rd marriage.
Well, I didn't know how fast his divorces came about.
Well.
Okay. That is also older. Yeah.
And then I'm the last of his 4 kids, and then he was the last. I'm just saying all of his siblings that had kids. So I don't really know my cousins that well. That's why I don't on his side. So that's why I don't know
this could be
his wife. I'm like, they're from Texas, and he jumps a lot, or maybe she knows him. But first of all, Mariah, thank you for sharing your experience. I love that you and your husband have found something that y'all enjoy doing together, and that you are traveling the world doing it. And they're about to go. What'd she say?
Bali?
Do it in
or she's done
Ireland.
it in Bali.
She's going to do it during the eclipse. That's going to be
Iceland.
Iceland. Oh, Iceland. That's going to be so sick.
Yeah, but I'll go to Iceland and not skydive.
Well, what's crazy is when you have your baby, you're going to put it in a car. But you won't let it.
You're like child abuser.
You're going to put that baby on the highway?
In a really safe car seat. This is, again, I will say that I said this last time. Don't give me those eyes.
I'm just kidding.
I feel skydiving would be an elective activity. I have to get in a car to function in my everyday life. That's what the difference is. I do recognize that I'm more likely to get hurt in a car wreck than if I go skydiving once. But the difference is I have to do one. The other, I'm just choosing to be a little, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not somebody, which I'm okay that other people are not this way. Actually, you know what? I really do. What is it called? I admire.
What is it called when you look up to someone and what they're doing and you think it's cool?
Yeah, I admire when other people can have more risk taking in their lives. I am risk averse when it comes to safety. And
I think I have a little bit of that. Like when I ride a jet ski, I go like so slow. If like I'm riding a jet ski with someone and they try to like take off and like turn, like I'm like freaking out and I'm like, get me off
of this.
So
thing.
if I'm the one driving, I'm like, like going down the lake, like barely, my hair's not even blowing because I like don't want to drive the jet ski fast. Water sports freak me out.
Well, so little behind the scenes. My husband is here helping us with video, and he also doesn't like jet skis.
Not because I think that they're dangerous. I just like it's kind of hard to drive.
He said not because he.
Not.
It's hard to hold your like wrist at the right position, like speed.
Yeah, he says they're hard to drive.
He said not because I think they're dangerous, because they're hard to drive. But the last time I was on a jet ski was with him. It was probably 3 years ago. We went out for maybe 5 minutes, and I was like, "Take me back. We're gonna capsize." I haven't been on one since.
Yeah, I'd say I'm not really.
That's the riskiest thing I did.
You're risk averse? Would you
Risk
call it?
averse.
Risk averse.
Averse.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start labeling myself as that.
Which I again, I admire that other people are not that way. This is I feel okay with it.
But thank you for calling and sharing your experience, because I know that somebody listening is motivated and will go skydive.
And don't let me keep you from doing it.
No, that's why I'm glad that I've checked that box. I don't know what got into me and made me actually do it. I know that it was my 30th birthday. Lunchbox went too, and a friend. I guess I just decided I was going to do it, and I did it. And now I'm good with that. I don't have any other thing like wild adventure things on my list, except for I do want to go to that hotel in Kenya where the giraffes come up to the window and you can feed them breakfast.
I don't think that is risky.
That's an adventure though.
Oh yeah. That can be adventurous.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't have, because I was going to say, I don't have anything adventurous on my list, but that's when I corrected myself, because that's adventurous. I want to go. But then I'm like, well, I've already gone to Kenya before and I've gone on a safari. So on one of my travel trips, would I waste going back to Kenya again?
You can't go to Kenya until you go to Paris.
I know.
So you can do something adventurous in Paris if you want.
You know where I might go on my next vacation is to see. I don't think I have enough time for that.
Okay.
For booking it, I get it, but I can still plan that. But my cousin moved to Ecuador, so I might go see her in Ecuador.
That would be fun. You could. I'm sure she'll do something adventurous with you.
Yeah, like I know that we'll go hike and see beautiful things.
Zip lining. That's crazy.
Zip-lining.
Yeah.
Oh, my sister had a little zip line in her backyard.
Yeah, I think I went zip lining. No, I didn't.
I didn't do like.
I went zip lining in
You're probably
America.
talking in like a jungle zip line.
Yeah, I haven't done that. That's scary. I went ziplining like at an adventure place in Dixon, Tennessee.
Yeah. I did I jumped on my sister's trampoline a couple weeks ago.
Okay, at our age that is kind of adventurous.
I know. I was thinking about how I have a
you
friend
probably need to go to the chiropractor after.
Ended up having to get knee surgery. A mom friend of mine, she also adopted from Haiti. She was jumping on a trampoline once. Her husband is really well known, so the story's kind of funny. She's like, I was like, what happened to your knee? And she's like, I was jumping on a trampoline with Lady Gaga and I popped my knee. And I was like, what? So then, they had to go to the hospital. It was a whole thing. She was like, I got on the trampoline like 3 seconds later, I was down for the count. And I was like, oh, just like funny.
Cool story.
Some people's lives, like, what happened to your knee? Well,
me and Lady G.
I was like, what were you doing with Lady Gaga?
What was she doing? Just hanging out?
I have no idea. I think maybe wherever they were have friends that were somewhere and they had a trampoline and somehow she ended up on the trampoline with Lady Gaga. Yeah.
Okay, well, just so you know, we are kind of crazy. We do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. We're wild.
If you want to skydive, we support you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your emails and your voicemails. We always love them. You can email us, heythere@feelingthingspodcast.com. No matter how serious, big, we can keep you anonymous. We can give every detail. Like whatever you will allow, we will try to honor and respect whatever you would like for us to put out there. And you can also call us, 877-207-2077. Most importantly, we hope wherever you are, you have the day
You need to have.
Bye.
Bye.